I would like to introduce Jim Poppe, a longtime resident of the San Geronimo Valley. I actually met Jim in 1974 when I played Little League Baseball for the Lagunitas Landers, and he was my coach. And so in the meantime, I've learned that he has many wonderful stories about the valley. And so I thought it would be pretty neat for one of his athletes to come back 30 years later and give him an interview. So I'd like to ask him a few questions. So the first one, Jim, when and where were you born?
I was born in San Francisco, and I was, I'm trying to think of a hospital.
Uh-huh.
California Pacific is there now. The old one is gone. I forget the name.
Oh. And when were you born?
1924.
1924. And what is your ethnic background?
Well, on my mother's side, she's all Danish. On my father, his mother was Swedish, his father was German, so that's what I have.
Wow. Do you remember any special stories about your family?
Well, then my mother, when she immigrated from Denmark, they came over here and they had to use covered wagon to get where they're going. And
oh.
And a lot of them died of...
and two of them, two were brothers. Her brother and sister died in Ely, Nevada, bad water. And
yeah, that's right.
Oh.
There was no road even, so just covered wagon. Then he got in the concrete business and fixed those pieces you put on your, as you go up the steps on each side, you make layers, you lay them up, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting because my mom stayed with her grandmother in Ely, Nevada. That's I'll have to tell her about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want
to had bad water.
Bad water.
And that killed them. Yeah.
And now I want to focus a little bit on the valley. When did you first see the valley?
Oh, I guess I was about 6 years old, something like that.
And how did you get out here?
That I can't remember. I guess by some kind of car, you know.
Yeah.
Old car, you know.
Didn't you mention to me that you once rode the train out here?
No, I didn't ride the train, but I remember the train coming through here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Huh. So when did you come to the valley as an adult?
Well, what do you call an adult? When you're over 21?
Yeah.
Well, I was here before then.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, about 18 years old.
Oh, you came here at 18?
Yeah, about 18. Well, no, my mother's cousin had a place up in Ramona. And there we came over that place. And there's Chris Hansen had a place.
Uh-huh.
Pete Hansen had a place. Oscar Groundberg had a place. A little Danish colony up there.
Ah. Huh.
So we'd come over for the summer and sometimes in the winter, but then we built a place in 1947, our own little so-called cabin. It wasn't a cabin, like a house. You know, all 2x4s on the walls and double walls. It wasn't like the old houses here that were single walls.
Uh-huh. Is that when you moved to the valley? 47?
Yeah.
And what did you do for work?
I was an electrician in electrical work.
Uh-huh. And where did you meet your spouse?
Well, I guess I met her on the bridge over here as you come by, you know, between Roman's Market and the Stars at that time. There was a bridge, and that's where we met down there. No?
We didn't meet there, but that was after the war.
What?
That was after the war. I knew you and the horses, when you were a guide for the horses.
Oh yeah, I know horses. Yeah, when I used to take her out and horseback ride, I was a guide. I took everybody out all over on the horses, and that's where I met her too.
I'll be darned.
You were a horse wrangler?
Huh?
You were a horse wrangler, right? I was too, over at Forest Knolls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
Where in Forest Knolls?
Up at the summer camp?
Oh, the Forest Farm.
Yeah, Forest
Yeah.
Farm.
Well, the summer camp used to bring the kids down to Amos, and we would load all those kids from Forest Farm on the horses and take them for a ride.
That's right.
You'd have I'd be one part of the ride. On the tail end would be the
Counselor.
counselor.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember those old horses down there.
yeah. And then they had Camp Lagunitas, same way.
Same way, yeah.
They were up Arroyo Road. They used to come down, we'd take them out for a ride.
Where would you take them riding?
Up through the hills, we had trails all the way up through San Geronimo, all the way up towards the ridge and back down, and
Uh-huh.
Lagunitas, up around Lagunitas, wherever they, wherever we can consume an hour.
Uh-huh.
But you had to watch those kids, they're little kids. You put them on a horse, you don't want them to fall off. So,
Did you say that you rode a horse all the way up there around Mount Tam from here?
I've ridden from here, come up by the Kent Lake to the right, up over the ridge, all the way to the ridge, up to Mount Tam, and from Mount Tam back to Fairfax and back home.
Wow.
7 hours.
7 hours. And what did you and your wife do for fun?
Dance. She liked to dance and I liked to dance, so we went dancing all the time. Sometimes I used to dance 6 nights a week.
Wow. Where did you dance?
Folk dancing and stuff like that then, But now, then we got into
Ballroom.
polkas and so on, and we liked that. And then we got into ballroom dancing.
Uh-huh.
Square dancing.
And what?
We did that a little bit.
Yeah.
And where did you dance when you first started doing that in the valley?
Canfield, Larkspur,
Uh-huh.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, and
Wherever there was a polka festival.
Oh.
sometimes went to Stockton. Wherever there's something going on, we'd go. So we went all over the place. In our latter years now, we went to Las Vegas. That's a long way away.
It's a long way away.
In Oregon.
In Oregon and Washington, we went up there.
And you danced all the way up there, huh?
Well, we got to we danced.
When we got there, we danced.
Yeah, great.
And then we did ballroom dancing, which we ended up with bronze, silver, and gold medals in dancing. So,
Wow.
That was in the international style.
the fella he'd come from England, and then he examined, and then that's how we got our
Medals.
medals.
What did you win?
Huh?
What medals did you win?
They're up there on the wall.
They were hanging on the wall right over there.
I'll be darned.
When you start, you get the bronze. Then you graduate to the silver. Then you graduate to the gold. And if it's extra good, you get a gold commended.
I see.
And then after that, I don't know. We only went that far.
But what we like together is dancing,
Yeah. Did you ever do any dancing down here at what used to be the House of Richard?
What used to be the House of Richard, we danced there too.
Yeah?
And a fellow named Charlie,
Esposito.
what's his name?
Esposito.
Yeah. He built the place all nice and flat, and they had big canopies, and he sat out there, and that was a dance floor. Then he decided the following year, gonna put a roof over it, that'd be better. So we used to dance there until they didn't have it anymore.
Huh. And when you first moved here, who were some of the characters in the valley that lived here at that time?
Oh, Emil Lockenauer, that had the horses.
Uh-huh.
He was a character.
Did you know him, Fred?
No, I didn't know
Emil
him personally.
Lockener? He
No.
was the fellow that owned
And I didn't mingle too much with the people, because everybody had something else to do, which was not, their thing that we wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
So,
Did you know George Flanders at all?
oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Well, I knew before George Flanders was Adolini. Henry Adolini owned the whole place.
Oh.
And his daughter named Annette. Was it Annette?
Marie.
What?
Marie?
No, that's the granddaughters.
Yeah. Oh, the daughter. Oh.
Anyway, he married her and he had 2 kids. And when Henry died and his wife died, then George took it over.
Oh.
See?
Huh.
But Henry was the kind that he believed in having a nice car. 37 Plymouth he had, no electricity in the place, but he had a nice car. And when he had to bring the cows in, he'd send his wife out to get the cows, to milk them.
Uh-huh.
But when he did, he said, well, we'll get her a horse. Big Snooks, they call him. So I rode Big Snooks and got him in good shape so that she could ride him, and she still would rather walk out with her towel wrapped around her, for a dish towel where she wore, and chase the cows in, and then milk the cows. And above the cows was all the hay hanging down, and they milked by lanterns.
Ah.
And daughter Anita,
Anita, I think.
Anita,
I'm not sure about that.
she would help milk the cows in the morning, and then she'd get cleaned up and go down to Bank of America and work. That's how they lived. And to get them on Adolini Ranch, which is now the Flanders, you'd go over the old road, and there was between the redwood trees a little bridge going across the creek to get back into the ranch.
Oh.
There was no highway.
Oh, there was no paved Sir Francis Drake.
No, you didn't have any roads here. You had the old road that wiggled all over the place.
The one that goes through Woodacre?
Oh.
To Woodacre?
Through the redwoods,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the road.
And it came all the way up to by the Oak Tree Inn, which is now what do they call it down there? Two Bird.
Two Bird, yeah.
Used to be Oak Tree Inn. Came up and the road came out, and they just wiggled around. But they've changed things around from what they used to be.
Huh. How interesting.
This road out here was just a narrow road, and it had about 10 feet of dirt for the horse to ride on. No trouble.
Huh.
So.
Wow. Do you remember any big events happening in the valley, like fires or earthquakes or anything?
Oh, right here, for some reason, a horse, he got buried up his stomach in mud.
Oh.
And we had to get the fire department to pull him out.
That was during the flood. Was that 72, I think? We had that big flood.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where was he?
He was down
Buried.
here in the barn. And
Right
I was
down here?
alone.
Oh, right down in your place?
Yeah. I had to call the fire department. He was,
He just kept going down, 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 down.
That was scary.
Gee.
And
Quicksand.
the other fire, there was a...
And then when I lived up there in Fort Knowles in the old house, the one we built, I used to sleep out on the porch because of the fresh air, and I liked it. The whole sky was bright. I looked over, and Bigelow's place, there's Bigelow, was his name, had burned to the ground.
Whoa.
In the old days, the fire department, they'd look at it and say, now what do we do? And they weren't very good at it.
When you say your old place, where was that?
Canalera, right at Canalera and Forest Drive where it comes together.
Ah,
You can't, Forest Drive ends and Canalera goes back.
right.
Now,
Is that the first place you lived in 47 when you first moved?
no, yeah. Well, then I told my father, don't pay the landlords out where we live. You might as well live up here. It's just the same amount of time. And it's beautiful up here.
Huh.
He'd come home at night and he enjoyed it that way.
Huh. Do you have any, did you have any special wildlife encounters? Maybe snakes or coyotes or mountain lions or anything like that?
In the back here,
Yeah.
one day I'm at work and my daughter, we had a swimming pool, and my daughter-in-law heard a hissing noise and she thought the water line broke. She looked down, there was a rattlesnake.
Oh.
Huge.
And so then Paul, my oldest son, happened to be home, so he ran in and grabbed a shotgun and went out there and he shot the snake, blew the head right off. But you know, the snake kept coming at him with no head.
Oh, man.
That was scary.
13 rattles on it.
13 rattles, huh?
And just lately, my grandson's out here working by there in that same area,
Uh-huh.
and here was another snake. So there's snakes around here. We hear mountain lions up on the hill here hollering. We heard them over here hollering. We don't see them here. I saw them on Berensmeier Ridge, but I don't see them around here, but they're here.
Whoa. You actually saw a mountain lion on Berensmeier Ridge?
Oh, yeah. They was eating on a deer that he killed, and I came upon him horseback riding, and there he was, and he went running off, you know.
Oh. Wow. Pretty big?
About 80 pounds, I guess.
Uh-huh. Huh.
So, and they had a big well up there, a great big open well. Somebody had a ranch up there many years ago. Anyway, no top on the well.
Oh.
So all you do is, if you fell in, there'd be the end of you. Nobody'd know you're down in there. I dropped a rock and you heard boom, with quite a noise it made going down.
Wow.
Deep.
That was up on Berensmeier Ridge?
Yeah, maybe it's still there. I don't think anybody went up and filled it in.
Covered it.
Did you used to swim in the inkwells?
Shafters do not the inkwell. Inkwell is a deep hole. I've seen people drown in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the water gets turning around down below and they can't get up.
Oh.
So Shafters is right above, you know, the swimming hole right there above the inkwell. The inkwell's below, you know, more west, and this is more east.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They used to swim there,
Oh, yeah.
huh? Huh.
And we dammed up the creek down here. Like Dick Ronberg used to dam up the creek, and I was helping him. We dammed up 500 feet of nice places to have.
Oh.
You go boating. What do you want to do now? But now they say you can't go in the creek. There's fish.
Right.
You got to be careful of the fish.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, that reminds me, did you see any big salmon runs in the early days?
oh yeah. For $1, this George Jensen would give him $1 and he'd get a salmon for us. He reached down and just pulled it out of the water.
Whoa.
Down by Lagunitas.
By Lagunitas?
Yeah.
Huh.
Pretty nice.
Did you see some of those big salmon runs when they were like body to body?
No, no, I didn't pay that much attention. If I wanted salmon, then we'd cut them open and smoke them. You know, Morton smoked roll. But Paul caught one over here in Forest Knolls. It's about 3 feet long.
Wow.
Big one. He got caught in the pool, couldn't get out, and so.
I think I remember you mentioning something about a railroad tie or something that you made an iron out of, or?
Yeah, right over there behind in the fireplace there, you can see out of that number, 40 pound, 3 feet, every 3 feet was 40 pounds. This
Wow.
was a 40 pounder. That's 40-pound railroad track ran through Forest Knolls that we made andirons out of. Cut the bottom out, bent them up, and split them down the middle, and there we are.
Yeah, let me reveal some of the track, Lee. There it is. Can you see it?
Yeah, got it.
Great.
Okay.
And those are the railroad ties?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
railroad, not the ties.
The
The tie is wood.
ties wood.
Yeah, ties all along, but that was a track.
Oh, that's part of the track. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Really interesting.
And if you go on Forest Knolls, dig up where that short piece where with the bars, then you turn off to the right a little, that little driveway there. If you dig that up, you'll find railroad tracks buried underneath.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, they buried it.
Huh.
Well, the train used to come through the tunnel in Woodacre. You know where Elm Street is, where you go up Railroad, then you hit Elm?
Yeah.
Right there is where the train came out. But he caved in, so they finally closed it off. One time we used to drive through it.
Ride the horse through it?
No, ride a car through it. And they wanted to put a gas line, and nothing ever went in there anymore. Now they got where Botinville is, you know, when you go over the top of White's Hill towards Fairfax, you turn right and go down, and that's the beginning of the tunnel. From there over to Woodacre.
I don't know what it looks like today.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Never hear any more about it.
Yeah.
It's like that, we were saying that piece of property there, Flanders. They gave a big piece of that property to the Drake High School to build a high school.
Oh, yeah, right.
I never heard
Yeah.
any more about it. I don't know if they own it still or Drake must own it.
I think Drake owns it,
They
yeah.
haven't done anything
Yeah.
with it. That was years ago.
Well, we got one more subject here. Baseball.
Uh-oh.
That's a big one.
I go sit down.
So sit down, be comfortable. So my question, look at those, he's pointing to some trophies.
Oh, we kept them
I
there.
got rid of a lot of them.
We had,
what-
they used to give us all those trophies all the time. We had so many, we got rid of
I don't know
them.
what to do with them.
Oh, wow.
And we kept the necessary ones, you know.
Oh, maybe I can grab a few of those. Bring it down here.
Put them away. I don't know what they are. We should get our grandchildren the balls to
So
play.
what are these, Jim?
Well, I don't know. Oh, it says right here in the front.
Oh, yeah. Jim Poppe, Lagunitas Landers,
Yeah.
1973. I think I was pitching in 74, so you probably have one of those
There
too.
you go.
What does it say?
Jim Poppe, Lagunitas Landers, 75 champions.
But
Yeah,
how they
we were
put it-
champions in
Yeah,
74.
and then see the up there above that big one, the silver.
1977. For outstanding service to Little League. I'll be darned. Oh, and this one says Renee on it. She must have played. She must have played some softball, I guess.
Oh, it's a pitcher in softball.
It says Renee.
Oh, that's softball.
Yeah, he played softball.
Yeah. Here's 3 more. I don't know what they are.
All
To
right.
read them.
Here's
Little League.
San
champs.
Geronimo Valley Little League 75 major champs.
This one's 74.
Hey, that's the one. That was the year I was in it. I have this very same one.
Oh, good.
And here's 76.
San Geronimo 1974 Little League champs. That's the year I was pitching. Jim had me pitch.
Uh-huh.
And then this one is
76.
1976. So,
My son Paul, he wanted to play Little League, so I went and I became a coach. And pretty soon I was the manager. And then there's Ronnie was in it, and he played in it. And then Mark played in it. That's why I like Little League. I was right in the middle of it with my sons. And Paul was a pitcher. Ronnie was good at catching, and Mark was a pitcher.
I'll be darned.
You put people where you thought they did best. You didn't say, go here. You want to see what they can do. So,
I remember my first game with you in 1974 when we eventually won this. You didn't have your pitcher, and you had us all line up, and all of us threw, and you watched each of us, and I could throw it the fastest and with the best control. So you walked over and you said, "You're my pitcher today."
yeah.
And I didn't even know how to do a windup.
And we were playing, I think it was Whitaker, and he laughing and said, we're going to pitch
Chad Cruder.
Oh, Chad Cruder.
Chad Cruder. And you beat him. You beat him, you beat the whole Whitaker bunch.
We did beat those guys.
Yeah,
And Chad Cruder, he made it to the major leagues.
Professional.
yeah.
Yeah.
He caught
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan there.
He caught Nolan Ryan. Yeah, he made it big. Yeah. And how long did you coach baseball?
14 years.
14 years.
Boy, I went to senior league and everything down below. Little league, from little league to senior league over the hill.
Oh, I didn't know you coached senior league.
Oh, yeah. There you have longer baselines. You hit the ball
Yeah.
farther.
Yeah.
I had 3 right-hand pitchers and 2 left-hand pitchers. And people over the hill didn't like us. They said, "Oh, here comes the boys from the valley again," because we gave them a bad time.
I'll bet you did.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite stories of Little League?
Well, just being with the kids. I enjoyed being with the kids. I'd sit
Yeah.
there and we'd play. It's even dark, and then parents would come up and say, "When's he coming home? When are you going to bring him home?" I said, "What difference does it make? You know, because if it was dark and they hit the wall, that's better than somebody hit it in the daylight. I mean, they just bam, 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 you know." But no, I enjoyed being with them. We'd take a drag, we'd drag the whole field, make it nice and smooth, and you put everybody out in a pickup. You bring them up. Now you can't bring them up in a pickup. It's got to have a strap, got to have a seat, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You tell them just jump in, and off we went.
Did you say that you saw my dad and I practicing one time?
I was in my wife's classroom, and I looked out the window and I saw you catch the ball, then I saw you hit it back, And you catch it and hit back and forth, you and your father going. I said, hey, I will see him. So I went up and asked you if you wanted to play, and they didn't know for sure if you should play or not. And I said, I want you to play. You didn't even know where second base was hardly. I had to tell you, just pitch the ball and don't worry about where to throw it right now. But it didn't take you long. You knew where it happened after short pitch.
Hey, Paul, how about that guy you threw out from center field at first base?
Oh,
Was that one of those games?
that was senior league.
That's
And-
pretty good.
Yeah, and Jim, he wasn't coaching then.
Oh, tell him about
But I have one story
Well, that was
my dad's telling. Huh?
when you played with Mark.
No, this is different.
No, I didn't
Mark
play.
was about the same age as you, wasn't he?
I don't think I played with Mark, but we were in playing at White Hill Field,
Yeah.
and our team was called Dorset, Dorset
Yeah.
Excavators. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. But you had Butch and Skip Schmidt.
Butch and Skip,
Yeah.
right? And we were so good that we didn't lose a game the whole season.
I think
And
I remember that.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Because that would have been the year, or a couple of years after '74, so it would have been like '76, maybe '77, one of those years. And they said, I know what we'll do. We'll create an all-star team, and the all-star team will play the Dorset Excavators. And they did. And we had a really good pitcher named Bob Anderson. So I played in the outfield, and I was in center field. And their all-stars leadoff hitter was this little guy. So I crept way in. I kept creeping in. I was almost in the infield dirt. And he hit a line drive, took one bounce, and caught me right there. Pow! I got the ball so fast, I thought, hey, I can throw him out from center field. And I threw it to first, and I got him.
Because normally Butch was dead on, he was awfully insistent that you never throw from the outfield, you throw it to the cutoff man.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, Butch was really,
He used to get mad if anybody did that.
that's right. Yeah, he was really, had those fundamentals, Butch. Yeah, you're always supposed to hit the cutoff man, but I threw him
Oh,
out.
he had it, you know.
Now, how about you? Did you play baseball yourself?
I used to play out in the Excelsior District. Had 11 acres out there, and they had 2 diamonds. And we used to play ball out there, and we had a good time.
Did you play in any leagues?
Pardon me?
Did you play in any leagues like Little League
They
or?
didn't have any leagues then.
Oh,
So we played out there, and on the way home, from school, we'd play horseshoes, too.
oh,
They had a horseshoe pit. They had everything out there. Good place to play.
where was that?
Crocker, well, you go out Geneva Avenue,
Yeah.
Geneva and Moscow. All that was 11 acres.
Oh, huh. And who were some of your favorite players?
I can't remember
You
that.
remember them?
That's too far back.
Too far back?
Yeah.
Ted Williams?
I don't think
Well, I enjoyed playing, not watching what someone else did.
Not watching. Yeah, well, those are some really great stories. Yeah. So you won obviously, I see these trophies. You won a number of championships, huh?
Yeah.
Out of those 14 years.
No, there's more than that, but I think I got rid of some.
Did you? How many do you think you won out of 14?
I don't know, this pretty often.
Like 10 maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe.
You're good.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember now, but it was pretty constant.
And then that was the Lagunitas Landers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't a Forest Knolls team, was there?
You know who the Landers were?
No.
The one that sponsored us was the fellow, the people that owned the San Geronimo Valley.
the land company.
Oh, by the land company. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why we call them Agnes Landers.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you my mom, Jean, will get a kick out of that because of the Landers. Because she knew about them. Now, so what was the Woodacre team, Independent Electric? Who sponsored them?
No, they're just a Woodacre team.
Oh,
The one you're speaking of, he was an electrician, but I don't think he sponsored the team.
oh.
But they had to have a sponsor.
Huh?
They had to have a sponsor.
I can't hear you.
They had to have a sponsor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
they
remember
must
who
have
it
had
was,
one.
but they had
Huh.
one.
Like we had the Cashel team,
Yeah.
Toby's team, you know,
Oh,
our team,
right.
you know.
That's right. Yeah. So how did you get into that? Was your son going to play Little League or something, and then you wanted to coach, or
Oh
how did that
yeah.
work?
Well, the old saying, you know, when the father wants his kid to play and someone else, oh, he can't do this, he can't. I said, I'm going to get in it.
Make sure he plays.
Okay.
It was good, so it was all right.
Well, that was great. We got through them.
But you know, the kids we had in Forest Mills, not team Agnes Landers, they were all from broken homes and this and that, and I treat them right. And they played their heart out for me. But some of these goody-goodies, oh, that's my son, this is my son, no good.
No good. Yeah, the Landers were good. They were really good
Like
team.
Eric, he was playing baseball, and they had a pitcher. And the fellow was manager then. He let his kid pitch. And his kid didn't do it right, he'd cry and everything else, and they'd let him go, go ahead, you can do it. That's not how you win a game. You know?
Yeah.
I would have got, he would have out right now.
Yeah.
You just got somebody that's willing to do it. That is a good pitcher. Like Skip was Skip was my assistant.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Then Will LaFranchi, Rick LaFranchi, there was there, and he was from Drake. And what's his name? Colin Tyler was up here. He was a catcher. Like I put somebody as catcher, and I tell him, you just catch. And when the guy took off from third to run, I'd throw the ball and he'd have to beat the catcher and know what the catcher's going to do.
Oh.
So I had good talent helping me, you know.
Didn't you say that you got inventive in some areas, and you had something where you hung a tire?
Well, I hung a tire on a tree or a rope. And it's moving back and forth, and there's a white mark on it. And I said, when you hit that, I could tell, I could see, you know. And I'd watch them, and that's how they got it. I did, you know, all the little things to make them better.
Wow. So the white mark was like the size of a baseball on the tire?
Well, just across the tire.
Oh.
If you even hit that, you're pretty good when the tire's moving back and forth, and you gotta hit it right.
Wow. I'll be darned.
Take a look at this, Paul. Have you
Oh,
ever
look
seen
at this.
This is a calendar my daughter-in-law
Oh,
got back
man.
in 2003. It's all about the valley.
Sit down.
Hey.
Sit down. Sit
No,
down.
it's okay.
Yeah, come on, Renee.
No, it's all right.
Hey,
No, we want you in there.
Yeah.
It's,
Can you take a picture of it, Lee?
Yeah, you want me to zoom in on that picture?
Yeah, and then maybe Renee could just say what it is.
Well, I have to read it. I don't remember.
Oh, that's the old
Or-
train
It's the
tunnel.
old train tunnel he was talking about.
that's it. In the railroad, where Elm, where they covered it over. The train came through there, tore the house down, and they covered the whole thing over, the whole.
Wow.
See, that's where the tunnel was.
Yeah, a train coming right through it.
Tells you on the bottom.
And the fire department used to use that tunnel.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they go through. Until one day the bulldozer hooked part of one of those supports and the things start caving in.
Oh.
That's why they close it.
So they'd use that like as a shortcut
Yeah,
to go right through, huh?
instead of going over the hill.
Wow.
See, that's
let-
Maud Gardner. She lived
Let me hold
there.
her.
Yeah, he knows more than I do.
And you see where the cows are?
Yeah.
That's part of the baseball field now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maud Gardner's.
She was part of the Land Development Company.
Oh.
Real estate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Big family.
Maud Gardner. And her husband, they got Gardner number 2 up around Tam. They call it, that's him.
I'll be
Edward.
darned.
That's a relation family.
Huh. So what do we got?
You want me to put that?
Yeah.
I could put another light.
Can you put
We don't
another
have
light
much
on?
light here, but it'll help a little.
Can you see it all right, Lee? In this light?
I'll turn this on. I don't know if it'll help.
What's this one, Jim?
That's in Whitaker. When you come out of the tunnel, now they got a garden there, but they used to be the train depot
much, huh?
where it stops.
I'll be darned.
They had to load the
Trees in
people
there.
on.
Right.
This one.
In Woodacre, you said?
Yeah. You know when you go up railroad and then you stop at the stop sign
Oh,
and you go straight ahead to be the fire department?
yeah.
Well, it's on
Yeah.
the right side of that. That was it.
Oh.
Okay, going back in there.
Oh, that's all right. He's
No, I wasn't.
You know what that is?
good job. I don't remember.
Okay, Jim, where is this?
The bulrushes. You know where you go down, how would I say it? On the old road, you know where the twin two-bird is now?
Oh, yeah.
You go down, you turn left, and you go to Nicasio.
Oh, uh-huh.
Right there, as you turn left, were the bulrushes. There was a gas station.
Oh,
That's part of the old road.
I'll be darned.
That's all that's left of it.
Huh. All right.
That's by
How
the
about this
church.
one?
That's by the church.
Which one?
San Geronimo, you know, the Presbyterian.
Presbyterian.
Oh, Presbyterian,
Yeah.
San Geronimo.
Yeah, they still have the old stop there for the train.
I'll be darned.
You'll see it when you look. It's there on the right. It's a building. Not the church, but just beyond.
When you first moved here, was that still there?
Oh, yeah, when I was a little kid.
When you were a little kid?
Yeah.
Bulrushes were there too, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember that.
You don't want that one.
That's just,
Wow, hey, look at this one. What's this?
That's where Old Man Starr had a store, and his wife and his daughter had a beauty parlor and a place to get grease your car up a little farther up. But
that's where all the kids sat on the bench.
yeah,
Whittled the bench.
that was a meeting place
It
for
was a
everybody.
meeting place for the young people.
Oh, yeah?
We all went there and sat on the bench and visited.
Wow. Okay, got a couple more. All right, how about this one here? Can you guys see it?
That's the Lyman's Lodge, the bar.
Lagunitas.
You go at night, you be sleeping there where the horses are, and you hear them playing the music over there, but
Across the road. There's nothing there now. It's gone.
yeah, it burned down.
Yeah, that was McAuliffe's.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Yeah, see
that.
how old the
Big
car
dance
was?
hall too. We had a big he had a big it was
Yeah.
a big dance hall. We used to have dances there.
Now, when you leave that Star store to go across the bridge, that was the bridge.
That's the bridge in Forest Knolls.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Look at it compared to what it is now.
Gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah.
These are neat old pictures.
Yeah. Kind of interested when I got them.
That's, above that was the Mariposa dance hall. We used to have dance hall burned down too. A lot of things burned down. When they caught fire, it caught fire.
I think we got one more. Oh wow, look at this shot.
That's the Star and Lagunitas. Pat Gann had that one. You know where it is right now? Up,
On the,
what's the road you go
church.
up?
Opposite the church.
Yeah, well, yeah, opposite the church. He goes up that road.
Huh.
Yeah.
What road
Where
do you
the
follow
church is in
about?
Lagunitas,
Yeah.
the like Catholic church.
Right.
That's across. That's that little store that's there now. But it was
Oh, the little
Pat
store.
Gang is the guy that used to have it. Of course, it doesn't look like that. Did you see that in the main room at this art center? We gave Dave Court a whole bunch of maps that we had from, I don't know where he got them, from years
Oh,
ago.
wow.
And one of them was the master plan of the San Geronimo Valley.
Oh yeah.
He put it up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That was really interesting.
That's it.
Schools and markets, and
Yeah.
that never
Oh.
materialized.
Renee, you want to get the picture of the stables for them?
Oh yeah. Okay. Let me see. Where'd
They're
you?
in the drawer.
Which drawer?
That's our stables, and that used to be.
Amos.
This is where they put the lumber before. When the train came through there, they put the lumber here. Then after that, they're turning in the horse stables with the horses all down here, hay up here. That's the old truck, 26 Dodge. That's where we tied the horses up. We had horses that way, horses this way.
Let me see that one.
Yeah, you were there if you came from Forest Farm.
Well, you remember this, Ann, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Lee would
That's what I was
remember.
just saying.
Remember
So I want Renee to tell the story about riding the horses and this guy and
Yeah.
that? Renee,
Okay.
you have to talk real loud because you don't have a mic on.
Okay. How's that?
That's good.
That all right?
That's fine.
Okay. So when we came up for the summer vacations, we would go horseback riding down at the Amos barn down here. And there were always guides that would take you for an hour. 50 cents, I think, for the first weekdays, and then
Yeah.
75 cents
On the
Sundays.
weekends.
Yeah, on the weekend. So you had your choice of two guides. One was Jim, and the other one was Frank McAuliffe from the lodge. And Frank was a very large person and very calm and very laid back. And he would take you for a nice, peaceful ride. And while you were riding, he would sing you all these nice songs. And
Wow.
then the other choice was Jim. And Jim was just the opposite. You'd go with him and you would be charging down these roads and up the hills and down the ravines and just this wild ride for 1 hour.
I gave him a ride for the money.
Even though he was much better looking than Frank. Very good looking, in fact. Blonde, curly hair. But we always took Frank because Frank was so peaceful and calm. And then I ended up marrying him. Not Frank, but Jim.
Yeah, but it must have been something good to me otherwise. 61 years.
Well, you were a good horseback rider, but a little bit too excited on the horse.
so Renee, can you tell us why you won't ride a horse anymore?
Oh, well, that was
Oh, up in Idaho.
that was because we visited some friends in Idaho, and
Yeah.
a friend of theirs named Ed was an old timer, an old cowboy type, and he would take his relatives and friends for rides up in the mountains, and he would bring. Somehow he had food that he would store in the creek or in the ground, I can't remember, for lunch. But his idea of a horseback ride was about, what, 7 hours?
Yeah, for a short ride.
Short ride. And then coming back, I'm afraid the horse had the upper, what do you call it? He was in charge. I wasn't. And he would come down these, we had to go down these hills, and it was covered with trees, and he would go right between the trees, and I had no way of controlling him. And by the time we got down to where we were getting off the horse, I couldn't get off the horse, and I had to call Jim. We were much younger then, of course. He came over and helped me. My legs were just paralyzed from the tension of holding my feet in there, afraid to fall. So I never went horseback riding again.
We're 27 miles from the road, the road down here.
Oh.
We're 27 miles up in the mountains.
Of course, Ed thought it was a big joke. He was laughing. He even brought me one of those flowers there that they grow. It's a special flower in Idaho there. I can't remember. It's a white one. And he brought me that, and laughing. He thought that was okay, but I didn't. So, no more horseback riding, even though I have 5 horses down here that I can ride.
Okay, I'm going to put the mic on, and I want to hear the story of how you guys really met. From the horse's mouth over here.
Well, that's how I met him at the barn, at the Amels.
At Amels?
Yeah, I met him there, but we didn't get together until he came back from the war, the World War II. And we just happened to be standing on that bridge. And we just got talking, and from the talking, we went dancing. And then little by little, we got married. Took 5 years.
Which bridge?
The one down in Forest Knolls.
Forest Knolls Bridge. I'll be darned.
Yeah, because he was here his parents were living here, mine were not. We came from the city, but we had a summer cabin up here.
Uh-huh.
So we would just, come up on the weekends in the summer. That I met him on, again on the bridge, and then I guess you could say we hit it off. Because it's, 61 years now
Wow.
we've been married.
So that was just after World War II.
Mhm.
Wow. And you were in the service, Jim?
From 42 to 46.
The
In
name.
the U.S. Navy.
You were in the Navy?
Yeah.
Now, did you get drafted or did you volunteer?
I volunteered to go in.
And why did you volunteer to go?
Well, if you don't volunteer, you're then drafted. That's when there's a big war. Everybody was being drafted. And I didn't want to be in the Army. So I joined the Navy.
Oh.
And they sent me, when I went to boot camp, I put down what I wanted, radio, and first choice
Yeah.
is no. Second choice, electrician. And they said, you worked in the shipyard a little, so you knew something about it. So they sent me to electrical school. And then when I turned out, they put me on a battle wagon, and I was in the M division, they call it, but we took care of the main propulsion, all works, and I used to stand and watch on the big boards, parallel generators and all that, keep it going.
Uh-huh.
Ship would be fighting and they'd be rocking back and forth, but I'm down below wondering, I wonder what they're doing up above.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me one time you were on the big ship and you wanted to get off?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, after I decided I've been on the battle wagon long enough. I want to do something else.
Uh-huh.
So I asked to get off. Send me any place. Well, I was supposed to land in Japan with the generators ahead of them for the invasion. Well, then they dropped a bomb, and that was the end of that. So they decided, well, we'll send them to China. I mean, Tsingtao, China.
Huh.
So I was over there, that's cold in the winter time. pretty barren country over there in Tsingtao.
Yeah. Did your ship ever get hit by shrapnel and anything?
Well, we got hit at Saipan. They hit the bridge and killed about 8 people then.
Oh.
Blew the side off. And then we got out of that all right. Then we went down to, we were in the Hebrides, bait for the Jap fleet, and we're going there, and the Tennessee, which is another battle line, hit us broadside and put an 8-foot hole in the bow.
Oh.
And they would have killed about 200 people, but they just went on watch. So that room, the 80-foot hole in the bow only killed, maybe 10, 12 people, you know.
Wow. Huh.
But, and then we're in a sea battle at Surigao Straits. The Japanese came up, and we crossed the T, and when we crossed the T, you fire sideways, and they were ahead. They're coming straight ahead of us, so we sunk them. Sunk that part of the Japanese, you know, fleet there, Navy or whatever they call it.
Wow. And what were you doing again? You were down under as an electrician?
Yeah. Well, you know, something has to make the ship go forward.
Right.
So you had forward engine room, after engine room, and you had all the open face panel, generators, you had to keep our own AC alternator for firing the firearms topside, and I was down there, about 35 feet below the water the ship is. We're down there.
Wow. Huh. How much time we got, Lee?
4 minutes.
Hey, we did it on one tape.
One
Good.
day.
We got 4 minutes left.
Wonderful.
Well, see, you
When-
must be a good interviewer.
When did you first come to the valley, Renee? Can you remember?
Oh, let's see, 29, 39, we're about 42, I guess, something like that, 1942.
42?
Yeah.
What's that?
For just the summer and the weekends. That's the house down below that
Oh, yeah.
it burned when we rented it, and so we had to rebuild it. Now my grandson's living in it.
And let me put the mic on you.
I can talk louder,
Can,
so you can have.
can you tell me that story about almost buying
Forest
Forest
Farm?
Farm? I think that's a great story.
Yeah, so when my folks were looking for a place up here, we had 2 choices, and one of them was where Forest Farm is now, and then the place that we bought down on the flat in Forest Knolls. So we went up to look at the property up there, and that was before Greg's took it, and it was a large piece of property with this huge home, I remember, with this big deck, and it was $5,000. And then we went down to the flat here in Forest Knolls and saw that place. That one was $1,750. But it was much more convenient because it was flat, you know, it was right there. And so I remember my father saying, "What do you think, Renee?" And I said, "Well, I like this one down here." So we bought that one, $1,750, and then that one the Gregs bought and eventually became the Forest Farm.
I was a horse wrangler at Forest Farm.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Yeah.
What?
I was a horse wrangler at Forest Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys were down here running the horses down below.
Right, so
What they
that
call the guy Pete the Pirate? Was he down there? Do you
Oh,
remember him?
yes,
Pete Stone.
Pete Stone.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that happen in life that change the course of your life.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think do we still have time?
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones for me was when I applied for a job at Lagunitas, and I had this terrible abscess tooth.
Oh.
And I was in the large room there at Lagunitas School, And there were other teachers who also were applying, and there was one there from Sausalito, and she was saying about all her experience she'd had here and there and everywhere. And I thought, oh, I might as well go home. I'm not going to stand a chance here. And my tooth was just throbbing.
Oh.
So I thought, I'm leaving. So I started, and I got as far as the glass doors, the outdoors, you know, those two doors that go out, and they called my name. And just that quickly, I mean, I could have been out the door.
Whoa.
And I went in and had the interview, and I got the job, and she didn't. Well, Mr. DeRay was on the board, Mr. Barbano. I don't know if you remember
I
them
don't
at
know
all.
them.
And the principal, Isabel, and the other fellow, the plumber from here. Anyway, Mr. DeRay had an apartment overlooking the French school in San Francisco where I taught one year.
Oh.
And he was very impressed with that school. And so I had his vote.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. So I was very lucky because I stayed here the rest of my career. I wouldn't have if I'd been out that door.
How long did you teach at Lagunitas School?
About 33, 34 years, something like that.
Wow.
Then I did the Dominican student teachers. I worked with them. That was very nice. Enjoyed that.
Huh.
But it was time to retire.
So when you got that job, what job were you applying for? Like a...
I was applying for whatever was open,
Yeah.
and I got the 5th grade.
Oh, you got 5th grade. Okay.
That's how I started down here. I had taught 3rd at a parochial school in San Francisco, and then they gave me the 5th up here.
And you said that was 51? Is that right? When you got that?
Yeah, I guess it was
52.
51.
You had to start in 51.
51, because we got married in 52.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I was Mr. Fell for that first year. Yeah, I had a student, Danny Hendrickson. You probably don't know that family. They were in here. And he always tells me this story. He says, I came to school thinking I was going to have a man teacher. I said, why was that? And he says, because they told me I was having Mr. Fell. But it was Miss Truffell, you know. So I remember he told me, I always thought I'd have a man teacher. He said, I got Mr. Fell. Yeah. Oh, well, a lot of stories.
Kind of doesn't sound like Mr.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't look like a mister either at that time.